Hello, I'm Daoirí Farrell, and this is the Hudson Listening Club, and we're going to listen to my album.
Hey!
In Northernmore, in the county Galway, early in the month of May.
Every time I hear the first line of that song, I just think of Manus straight away. Just the Raspberry song.
And our beauty stole my heart away. She wore no jewels, no costly diamonds, no paint nor powder, none.
So those real strings?
I was cello and fiddle.
Yeah.
And just
with a ribbon on end.
On the keyboard.
Yeah.
Which is sort of something like a harmonium, you know?
Yeah, it's lovely.
We started walking.
Pretty big song to start the album with.
And started talking.
Yeah.
Have you been doing this track for a long time, Daoirí?
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while.
And she said,
I've been at it about 15 years maybe now. I was only talking about it the other day. So each time has been a totally different experience. This is probably my third solo album. This would be my third solo album. Probably the first one was kind of like it started out as a college project. I mean, because that's where I kind of started really. The second one then was the Trueborn Irishman, and then this one was just completely different to anything else that I've ever done. So I kind of felt each time like as if it was I was really new to it. Do you know what I mean? Just being in that studio, in that actual room in that studio, singing into that mic, it was so much easier than any time ever before. Do you know what I mean? First off, like without the musicians that were on the album, like it's just. It was so much easier to sing the song. When I went down, I knew the words of the song. Everything just felt like we had a good plan, a map of where the song was going. So, it was great. It was great, I wasn't too panicked about it, which is good.
And she sang each note there.
Where did you get this version?
Like an Irish linnet.
I was asked would I sing for a few songs for the GAA, the Gaelic Association, and the hurling. And whatever happened whatever year it was, I can't really remember off the top of my head. Galway won anyway, so I sung the Galway Shawls. You know what I mean? Recorded 4 songs from the 4 teams that were playing. So the 2 teams that were playing in the hurling and the 2 teams that were playing in the Gaelic. Anyway, the Galway team won that particular year. So I learned this song. A mixture of everybody. Finbar Fury recorded it. The Dubliners, all those guys. Andy Irvine had a lovely version of it. And he was with Patrick Street, I remember that. I kind of just went back to the very roots. So Mongolian Singers Club was very good for me, getting the words. I would always bounce the song off Jerry O'Reilly, That's where I came up with this version of it. Myself and Dónal had a couple of looks over, especially the last bit, the verse where the tears like fountains down her cheeks they flew. I think we agreed that was a lovely line, Dónal. Yeah, It's a beautiful song. I didn't think it would have such an effect on so many people. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
there you go.
It's a beautiful song.
It really did, yeah.
And it has the feeling of a classic, So, the arrangement is quite straightforward, really.
Yeah.
But it's really, I feel it just carries the song.
I've heard it done a few different ways to a waltz and stuff like that. And I kind of had the waltz down to the you know, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, and then this one as well. I just really like This Way with the bouzouki and stuff like that. It was lovely, you know.
Once the Galway shawl all around our shoulders. Once the Galway shawl.
Yeah, the line you referred to on the tears like fountains down her cheeks they flew. It's like the present tense is flow, and the past tense would have been flowed, but the poetic license of the song said flew.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it was lovely.
Yeah. Really nice. First version I heard of that song was Bob Fox, you know, Northeast singer. Yeah, he does a really lovely version as well. No, that's brilliant.
Do you know, a thing that I think is really important is people used to always say to me when I was in college, because like I met Dónal when I was in college studying music and stuff like that. I used to get a lot of really good tips and tricks off people, and to listen and, you know, make sure that you're actually hearing the song. And I always remember Gay McKeown, the piper, saying it to me, like, you have to listen to the music. And for years I didn't know really what he was talking about or whatever, but I think I really do understand what he was talking about now. And it's to actually listen to the music and the songs and the words and stuff like that. And I just, sometimes on some certain songs and pieces of music and tunes and stuff, you have to do it way more than others, like, you know what I mean? But so I listen to this, but there's also, I suppose there's also a thing of over listening to something, because you might become attached to one particular version of a song. Do you know what I mean? And so I didn't do that. I listened until I kind of had me fill with the mind that I was going to go and record it, and then I just stopped, because you have to kind of wean yourself off again. It's very hard to unlearn things. I've found in life, in general in life, not just music. I'm talking about different things. So it was good to listen to all those versions, but maybe just 4 or 5 times each, and then go and say, okay, I need to start moving on this now. And that's what we did, you know. So
very good. Yeah, there is a thing about listening, like consciously listening to songs and music. Very often I find I hear a song and I love it, but I love maybe the music of it, and it might be months, might be dozens of listens later that I'll actually hear the words and hear what the song is about.
Yeah.
You know, I might be just bewitched by the overall effect of it or whatever, you know. So sometimes it takes a while for everything to soak in for me.
Yeah, I think
it's actually a perfect, yes. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, different people listen. I've always got that in the studio. Like, it takes me ages to hear the lyrics, to hear a story in a song. I could listen to it 40 times before I'm actually realising what it's about. You know?
That's a relief to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. The first thing I will hear is the bass line. That really usually sort of underpins all the chords, you know, so I understand the music of it then from that, whatever.
Yeah, that's good, yeah.
A lot of the time. Sometimes.
One fine winter's morning, my horn I did blow. To the green fields of Katy to hunt I did go. We gathered our dogs and circled around. Oh, for none loved the hunt better than the boys of Maydown.
You know, when you listen back to it, everything's just so clear and there. It's just there, isn't it? It's fantastic. The drum is there. The accordion sounds amazing. The vocal is really good. Thanks for that, Don. And you know, you can hear the bouzouki bits and everything is just
it's good and clear.
Where did you do it?
Where did I get the song?
No, the album. Where did you record the album?
Where did we record it? We recorded it in a few different places. For the most part, I think you agree that we recorded it with Manus Lunny in Donegal, you know. It suited us all really well. I think in the long run, it suited us all really well to do it there. Very funny, and I don't know if you ever met him before. He's great crack. He really is a lovely man. He's great, isn't he, Dónal? Like, he's a gas, like, you know.
I could have asked him none. If I had him here, we wouldn't get a word in edgeways.
So, yeah. It's a tough song to record, I thought, vocally. You know, it's long. So I heard the song first being sung by Cathy and with Dervish, Cathy Jordan, and I was blown away by it. When I heard their arrangement of the song, I always thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things, Andy, that I'm talking about. Like, the song was stuck in my head for years, and it was the definitive version for me. And probably still actually is the Dervish version. But then one day I was given this tape by somebody in one of the guys in Liberty Hall singing sessions or something, gave me a tape, and it was Al O'Donnell singing. Oh wow, I mean, I just was absolutely blown away by the simplicity of it and his voice, and when he sung it, it was like as if I could just picture being in the fields. Nothing against the Dervish version at all, but I really just thought that the simplicity of it. Maybe it was the rustiness or something, the rustic sound of his voice or something like that. Just,
I know what you mean.
He actually had this version. This is the full version of the song. I couldn't find any more versions for the song actually. So again, didn't listen to it too much. Went off, just started recording it, like, you know, mapped it out the whole job.
I always loved Al O'Donnell's singing, and I understand what you're saying. It'd be the simplicity of it that he would he'd convey the pictures in the song very clearly. Very nice.
Oh, no more o'er the green fields of Katy I'll run, or trip through the fields in sport or in fun. For last night as I lay quite content in the glen.
And the bass on this, by the way, Andy, is Barron.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And no more o'er the green fields of Katy I roam. And now that I am dying, the sport is all done. Nor
is it who was the band then? Is it the same band for like the?
Say again?
Is it the same band for the whole album?
Almost.
Almost, yeah.
You may blame old McMahon for bringing.
Yeah, there are a few guests, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like Sean Potts is on this one. John Oak Potts is playing whistle, and he's playing the jig on the instrumental, which is a version of The Air, but just in 6/8 time. It was like a dog after a rabbit with the putting that tune together.
Has a lovely trot to it, doesn't it? You know, it's really great. Like.
Yeah, it's lovely that.
And there's also accordion. There's also accordion on there. There's two accordion players on there. There's Sean Garvey from Dublin here. Fantastic accordion player. Done many to gig with Sean. Good pals, like, you know. and sessions and stuff like that. And then we recorded that one in maybe sections, I suppose it's safe to say that.
True,
and,
yeah.
Then when it came to putting down, something happened. I can't remember what it was. I think we probably had to go somewhere. The two of us were probably gigging somewhere or something like that. Anyway, we came back to it. I remember distinctly that particular jig was put down inside the Irish Traditional Music Archives, actually in the basement there, which was great, fantastic bunch of guys. And that day, Peter Brown came in to actually put down the accordion, I think, because Sean was away. It was actually Willie Clancy, Jenny Mac. It was about 2 years ago. It was probably exactly 2 years ago this week, was it? Or next week, I think so. Yeah, whatever he was, he was at a festival anyway, so he couldn't come down, unfortunately. He was gutted, but he actually said, why don't you get Peter Brown to come in? It was another great friend of mine who was on the list, you know what I mean? So I asked him, like, it's gas, like he just came in, he cycled in, and he done it, didn't he? And he just kind of went home. You know? It was, but it's just, it really, really just rounds off the song. Lovely. Like, I mean, I suppose there you go. It's an experience thing. Maybe I wouldn't have even been able to, at the time, I don't think I'd have even been able to begin to put that together at the end of that tune, that song, you know, but it really, really complements it lovely, I think. And, again, I mean, thanks for that, Donald. Like, you know, but I think if I was to say something, and I hope I'm not, I don't want to, you know, flatter you too much or anything, but I think Andy, like that, Donald hears things in these tracks and music in general that I don't think, maybe in years to come it will come to me from being in the studio or something, but man, oh man, I mean, there was things in there that Donald I can't explain it even properly, but things there that you could hear that I just in a million years never thought that I would have been able to hear. Little small things. And,
really glad to hear that.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. No, it is. And that was one of them.
Yeah.
I know. But like, do you know what I mean? It's just, it's a gift, I think. And you definitely have it. Like, I don't want to sound too stupid.
That was
you know?
quite a performance anyway, that song, you know?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Oh, coming, I'm cursing you and praying heart on you and hate down from on high.
I suppose we were talking earlier on, you know, when he's talking over the song, we're talking earlier on about knowing the song for many a year and not really knowing what it was about. Well, this is one of the songs for me. Actually, this was Donald's choice, and Donald chose this song for the album, and I'm so happy that he did, because it's a beautiful song.
An amazing song.
Brothers too, and you told false tales that sent the Conneries across the foreign seas to New South Wales.
Is that harmonium or something?
Oh, he who'd stand in there and do his thinking clear on our case being tried. 7 more to the hour of 9 was done, to root was defied. The ground shook under us as the lies came thunderous to decide our fate. I fear their perjured souls are in the lowest hold, so the holy clergy state. And jacket short it is sewn, and trousers coarse and worn, for us they are being made.
So would you have done? Did you do like the vocal and bouzouki or whatever guitars, whatever together, and the rest of the band on separate, or what was the score with all that?
Started off, like this one for me now was a bit new in the way. I remember spending a lot of time here arranging this in the kitchen here because with Dónal, because the only version really at the time that I ever heard being sung was Frank Hart. He recorded with Dónal and with Trevor 2 years ago on, I can't remember what the name of the album was, but he was just unaccompanied, so he was singing it free, you know, just so to get this kind of bouzouki thing going and to fit the bouzouki in on the side. I knew it could be done, obviously. Like, I remember having the eureka moment when I got it here. That was great. So I recorded myself on the phone and sent it straight to Dónal. Like, the way we went with it then, you know.
Yeah, well, it was recorded. It was you who put down the voice and bouzouki first.
Yeah.
I think you did them together.
That's right, I did, yeah.
And yeah, we added the other things to it afterwards, you know. I would have built up the keyboard part. I'm not that good a player. Not as good as I sound.
Is that generally what you do then, Derry, when you record? Do you end up doing, you know, bouzouki and vocal together most of the time, or can you split them up, or like?
Do bouzouki and vocal together, yeah, because and I'm getting better at it, like, you know, especially with especially with the system in the house that I have over the last couple of weeks, last couple of months.
Yeah,
it's great to just be able to go in, and it's priceless actually to be able to just go in and play into your own mic and listen back. So, but up until now, what I've been doing is I've been playing and singing. I don't know if you noticed this ever, but you kind of, I think it's because I'm so used to just going all around the world and different places playing on my own, playing music on my own. You kind of get used to it. Like if you're not singing, you play differently. Do you know that kind of way? That's what I always noticed. And so it's kind of hard to play what you would be playing if you were singing and playing at the same time. So
yeah, exactly.
But, you know, it's really, really hard. It's really frustrating. That's like, I don't really get into a bad mood that much, but if I was getting ratty or anything like that, that's the one thing. Because it's kind of like, I would kind of feel a bit embarrassed that I can't do it. But it's not just me, because I've spoke to people, and a lot of people have said that it's really irritating. It's one of the things that they would criticize themselves over is, which, look, that's the way you play. That's the way you teach yourself to play.
When you're singing and playing, your singing affects the way you play. Mm-hmm. And it's difficult to fake that, if you like, or to actually execute it without the singing, you know. So it's not a, you know, it's natural that it's a problem, you know, because they fit together and they affect each other.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering on the last song, the Connerys, was that the one that Seamus Ennis translated?
Yeah,
for
that's
somebody.
The one.
Who did he translate it for?
He translated for Frank, actually.
For Frank Hart,
I think that's what it says in the notes. Yeah, he translated from Irish to English for Frank.
Yeah, apparently, not exactly on the back of a cigarette box, but really just there and then, and it was in somewhere like Donoghue's pub.
That's right. Yeah, Donoghue's,
Frank approached Seamus Ennis and asked him about the Connerys song, which Seamus knew in Irish, and Seamus on the spot wrote out those words of the translation. So it's a little bit oblique in the imagery, you know, and that, but it's fantastic what he did, you know, and what he conveyed in the translation, you know, of these two guys who were transported for, I think they robbed some firewood or something like that on someone, you know, some landed gentry's estate, and they got transported to New South Wales.
funny that there was actually three brothers, and one of the other brother was sent away beforehand, and then the two of those guys were sent away, and like to never come home. And you can hear like I said earlier on, like it's one of those songs that I never really. I love the air of it when Frank was singing it. Would be for anybody who's watching this, would probably be a good idea to go and have a listen to Frank singing it because it's fantastic. But they're saying a prayer that like they get to come home someday and stuff like that. It's really quite sad. It's really hitting when I listened. It was really hitting when I listened and started learning the words, you know. So I was really able to dig me claws into it, and hopefully I've done it justice singing it. It definitely kept my heart, you know.
I think that you bring it on from where Frank left it. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, Frank did the definitive of many songs, but as far as I'm concerned, you're one of the only people who can take on the same songs that Frank brought to life, you know?
Yeah. Well, thanks for that. That's lovely to hear, you know? Yeah. So.
I am a gallant highwayman called Valentine O'Hara, and I come from poor but decent folk, and I to the hill of Tara. By the getting of a maid with child to England I went over. I left my parents and I became a wild and daring rover. Well, it's straight to England I didn't go, where I became a soldier, resolved to fight Britannia's foe. Not Hector great was bolder. I fought all in some foreign shores, where cannons loud did rattle. Believe me, boys, I do not boast how
that Concertina.
Who's
on Concertina?
Concertina is Tara Finn from Sligo, and fantastic Concertina player, whistle player. Bloody hell, she's a fantastic singer. Ellen Piper, wow! Like I mean, many's the gig with Tara. Great, and that was a new concertina she had. We got her up in the dead of night to record that. Do you remember? That wasn't the normal one. Yeah. So, and then the Piper, the actual Piper is it's Mark Redmond, a good friend of mine. So, and I think that was a brand new set of C pipes that he had, because the song's in the key of C. Actually, yeah, it was one of these bazookies here. I think I recorded it on as well, actually. So, a bridge tuned Joe Foley, bazooki tuned to C. So it was open, no cap. It was great.
And I did go as fast as winds would drive me. Resolved that of my liberty no man could dare deny me. But I slept out in the fields at night, by all my friends forsaken. I dare not to walk the road by day, for fear I might be taken. But I, being of a courage keen and likewise able-bodied, I robbed the Lord Nounce on the King's highway with pistols heavy loaded. I placed my pistols to his breast, which caused his heart to quiver. 500 pounds in ready gold to me he did deliver. Well, with part of my new store of gold, I bought a famous gelding that could jump over a 5-bar gate, and I bought him from Ned Fielding. Lord Arkenstone, all in his coach, I robbed near Covent Garden. And 2 hours later, that same night, I robbed the Earl of Warland. In Turnham Green, I next day robbed the revenue collector.
Nancy Kerr and James Fagan do a really good version of this. Yeah.
James did he? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah.
I think it was Yarrow, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think he sung about it. There's an English and an Irish version.
Yeah.
There's a great debate. There's a great ongoing debate actually about which one came first. Was it the English version or the Irish version of this song? You know?
And it's straight to the gate I do go.
Alan Tyne of Yarrow is the English version, isn't that right? I think that's the one James recorded.
Yeah.
And ours is Valentine O'Hara. Again, another song that I learned from the singing of Frank Hart, actually.
Farewell, my friends and neighbours, all likewise my native Tara. Kind Providence may test the soul of Valentine O'Hara.
Yeah, so that song is a bit of a journey, and I felt it needed a bit more. The meat needed a bit more veg on that song. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To you know, to give it more travel. But yeah, there was when we were recording that, or when we were I suppose when we were finishing off recording that, there was a bit of pressure, time pressure, so we were kind of limited in a way. Otherwise, I would have interfered with it a bit more.
What do you think you would have done? I'm just interested. Like, would it have been a case of adding something else, you know, instrument-wise, or would it be?
It could have been, yeah. I mean, I hadn't thought that through, but as we were listening just now, I was imagining what it would be like to have a baron coming in halfway, or something, because these things all help to sort of refresh, and it's like starting a new chapter, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, it's a very wordy song, you know. It's like all those verses, and as it stands, I mean, your voice carries it very well. But when people are in the habit of, you know, having accompaniments with the main course, you know, it's sparse enough in a way, you know. I mean, Tara's concertina was very nice for it, like along the way. But yeah, it could have taken a few more things in and out, you know.
It's a big enough song to take a few more things. I know exactly what you're talking about, Jay. The time the thing was really pressing then. I remember that. But like, it's a very strong story in that song, let's say, compared to, let's say one of the other songs. I won't say any song because I don't want to be comparing it to any song, but it's a lot more of it's a big story, and it starts at the start and finishes at the end with hold on, the tree and stuff like that. And so I think because that was so strong, that maybe it could have done with a little bit more instruments, maybe, you know, like you said, like the baron coming in halfway through would have really
something like that. Yeah,
you know.
But you're not to worry. I mean, you do carry it yourself anyway. So
thanks.
A fitful sleep the landlord had, and in and chatting not of his choosing, his daughter till the morning light abused all those who set their boozing. And there's the day, it's not the day, oh, it is the day, the night is over. It's not the day, whate'er you say, and it's only the moon to guide the rover. Come, landlord,
lovely backing vocals then.
Only the best.
the bass vocals, immense. Yeah. Is that yours?
It's the main man. That's the main man. Yeah. You know, Alan Doherty was pressing the buttons this day.
That's right. Yeah.
And he got in and done some really cool backing vocals as well. Alan's a good friend of ours as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic flute player, one of the best actually. And
great, yeah.
so Moira Cronin is in there singing as well. Another friend of mine from on Daoirí Farrell's club, and Tara again, Tara Finn singing.
That's right.
Your vocal works with that. The texture that the harmonium and your vocal make is really beautiful. Yeah.
Good.
Just the first couple of notes, and you can hear a lovely texture.
I'll stay in bed, the landlord said, for if I get up, he'll go quicker. So drink your fill of swipes and swell, but not one drop of my good liquor. And there's the day, it is the day, oh, it's not the day, the night is over. It's not the day, whatever you say.
That's Mark playing low whistle on it as well.
Yeah.
Which is really important.
My socks and shoes, this tavern has my coat and breeches. By morning I've no more to lose, and I'll go sleep among the ditches. Oh, there's the day, it's not the day, oh, it is the day, the night is over. It's not the day, whatever you say. But I've money left to treat a friend. Here's my last guinea upon the table. So let's tilt the barrels upon their ends, and let's be drinking whilst we're able. So there's the day, it's not the day, oh, it is the day, the night is over. It's not the day, whatever you say. Guide the rover.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, that song was meant to go on True Born Irishman. Would you believe? I don't know if I ever told you.
All right.
Yeah, and it was something very simple that stopped me putting it on. Moira was meant to come in and record the vocal with me. It's going to be a simple arrangement and just put it down. So Moira Cronin is a fantastic singer of Irish songs. She's a singer from from Dublin here, and she sings in Mongolian Singers Club. You'll always hear me talking about that place. I love it. Now everybody went there, Frank Hart and all these guys kind of, went there. And that's where I met. That's where I sang my first kind of unaccompanied song, really. So I remember her saying to me a couple of years ago that she loved this song, and I got it ready, fighting fit to put on the True Born Irishman album. But certain things arose, and she couldn't come to the studio, and so I said I'd put it off onto the next album, which was actually brilliant because I think it fits so well in the middle of that album. I'm delighted I didn't put it on True Born Irishman, because I remember getting that song from Cathal McConnell. There are a few songs from Cathal McConnell, and he's a very, very good friend of mine, actually. I call him and talk to him all the time. And it's great because I think it deserves to be on this album. I needed to kind of, sing it a bit more, and I kind of only started learning it back then. So I'm delighted I gave it that extra year at least to stick it on this album, So I have that kind of respect for the songs, I like to think that I have a respect for the songs anyway.
The time was right for it then. Anyway,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, So.
I was going to say, because I wondered, remember seeing you do, what's the song? Is it Craig and White Hair or? Yeah, when I came over with the young'uns, and I can't remember what that venue was that we were playing at in Dublin.
The Sugar Club.
In Dublin, and you came and supported, and you did that, and it was just like, shit, that's really good. And then I heard you doing a version of it. You did a single or EP or whatever with it on. I just thought, because that didn't make it onto this album. I didn't know whether that would have been in the offing to make it onto this album. But have you got a load of tracks that you got ready, songs that you got ready and stuff, and then you didn't get on, or what? Or?
Well, the Craig and White Hair was recorded on the first album on the first turn, right?
Oh, was it? Yeah.
That's how and no, that's fine, because it's not like everybody kind of knows the True Born Irishman, and I was studying in college. I was underground. I was studying in college, and like I said to you, the first turn was the first solo album, but I was kind of studying in college, and so there's a massive big gap between that and True Born Irishman, because then I kind of was out in the big bad world, and I was playing music, and I was thinking, God, why is anybody buying any CDs? I was like, just because I don't have one. And so I recorded True Born Irishman, and then we went on and done this one. But it still is a solo album, and I had the Craig and White Hair. But I always wanted to kind of do it again, a little bit better, the Craig. And then that's how this album kind of started, because I went into the studio and recorded a single with Dónal, 2 songs, the Craig and White Hair and Bogey's Bonnie Bell. And it was kind of the start. It was just kind of, they were done fairly quick. They were done very well, but they were done fairly quick in the grand scheme of things, as opposed to 2 songs. So I've also got a single of myself and Dónal playing Craig and White Hair, and Bogey's Bonnie Bell, which is another a Scottish song that I recorded on True Born Irishman. And then, so I think that's actually how this album started. I think that's how we kind of came together and done it, because we had a little taste of what it was like maybe to work with each other. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I like to think that Dónal enjoyed working with me, you know what I mean? So I think it was one of the best experiences of my life. I think I'll take this opportunity to say, was to work with one of my absolute idols, and probably the sole reason why I played the bouzouki is Dónal. Do you know what I mean? Because I remember hearing that when I was 7 on an album, and going, man, it was the Bothy Band. I can tell you even what track it was. It was amazing. I just remember going, yeah, that's what I want. I don't know what it is, but I want to play it, because I'm gonna make us sound old now. But there was no internet back then or anything, so I couldn't go and Google it or anything, because there was no such thing. But eventually, here we are talking about the third album, and I just want to say thanks very much. It's just fantastic, Great. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what we like. Artists, thanking their producers,
Hey.
When things go wrong, will not go right, though you do the best you can. When life seems dark as the hour and night, well, a pint of plain is your only man. It's your only man, your only man. Well, a pint of plain is your only man. When money is tight and hard to get, and your horse is also ran, and all you have is a heap.
Are you on the guitar or whatever as well, double tracked, or is it someone else playing it? Is it two?
Well, a pint of
I think I'm playing bouzouki on it as well as you.
Oh right, yeah.
And bass power on.
And your heart feels strange and your face is pale and wan, and the doctor says that you need a change. Well, a pint of plain is your only man. It's your only man, your only man. Well, a pint of plain is your only man. When food is scarce and the lard are bare, and no rashers grease your pan, and hunger grows 'cause your meals are rare, well, a pint of plain is your only man. It's your only man, your only man. Well, a pint of plain is your only man. In times of trouble and lousy strife, though you still have a darling plan, you still can turn to a better life, for a pint of plain is your only man.
Sounds great. How was the album mixed? Was it all mixed in the studio, or did you do it at home and stuff? And then
it's your only man, your only.
Mostly on headphones at home.
Yeah.
The pint of plain is your
Sounds
only
great.
man. It's your only man, your only man. Well, the pint of plain is your only man. It's your only man, your only man. Well, the pint of plain is your only man.
Deadly.
Grand song.
Yeah.
As I went out walking one morning in June, I spied a fair damsel in the sweet summer bloom. Her cheeks they were rosy and her hair it fell down, and she came from the black water near sweet Portadown. I stood in amazement as the breezes did blow, and the blood like a river through my veins did flow. Well, I thought her the fairest in old Ireland all around. That morning I met her near sweet Portadown. Says my wee lassie, I don't know your name, and quickly she answered, I'm afflicted the same. Well, I said, mine's O'Connor, born first Pat put down, and she says,
where did you get this one from, Derry?
I got this one again from Cathal McConnell. A few songs from Cathal, you know, he's got great songs. He really does have great songs. I always wondered why I picked his songs. I think it's because we we have the same kind of voice. I think we sing in the same key and stuff like that. You know, it's so funny. Like, you ever get a chance to go and see him? His introductions are nearly as interesting as him actually singing songs. He's a gas man.
He is that, yeah.
And he'd been at me and saying to me for a long time, you need to record this song and The Cabin Road, which is a huge song. Dónal, we should do that sometime. I would love to do an arrangement of that sometime. It's a beautiful song. This one is just one of those kind of, I was going to just say it's a love song, isn't it, really, you know? There's a bit more, there's a bit more to it than that, maybe, you know what I mean? I've never heard anybody recording this song, I don't think. So, it's two songs merged as one, actually, and it's sung to the air of Romantic So Green, as far as I know.
Right.
So Cal actually collected this song from a woman called Mrs. McEntee up in the north of Ireland. You know? Funny enough, her great granddaughter, I went to college with her, Kira McEntee, actually, funny enough, and she's a fantastic soprano singer, really good, like, you know, and so we would have been good friends growing up, coming up through college and stuff like that, but I never would have associated them with each other. And so Cattle gave me this song actually in Celtic Connections one year, years ago, and so it's been there for a long time, and then eventually I learned it and stuck it on this album. So.
And besides, I would never leave sweet Portadown. I would never expect you leave the land of your birth, for I think it the grandest and the fairest on earth. But if you'll consent for to be my fond bride, we both would live happy by the black water side.
Do you ever listen back to your albums, Derry?
Oh yeah, I do, yeah. I listen to this one, yeah, I do. I've got to come up, like, really I do, and I don't. It's just.
You're supposed to ask.
I don't listen to them kind of drinking 6-pack of cans going, Jesus, I'm great now, or anything like that. I just listen to them. I think it's important to listen to them, you know.
Sure we'll
well, it's funny. It's not. I'm not drawn to listen back. Once it's done and mixed, listen to it a few times after that, and then it's sort of like go from view for 6 months, you know. So I hadn't listened to this album for several months until we spoke last week or a few days ago. So it was refreshing to hear it again, you know. I do think it sounds nice. I think Paul McGeehan mastered it. I've never met Paul, but Manus has a sort of an ongoing thing with him. Manus, whose studio is in Donegal, sends masters over to Paul, who masters them, and it's a lovely, you know, he's very careful, and he took trouble over this. You know, he did a few passes on it, and really brought out the best in it. You know, because like the mastering is a crucial step, and the compression that's used is critical as well, you know. Sort of bring things forward, but not to squash stuff, you know. You know yourself.
I wish I was in my love's arms. I wish I was in my love's care, to piebald horses in me pocket, rolling round and round the fair. Oh, Rosie, Rosie Riley, oh, Rosie
you on a bouzouki?
No,
What is
that's
it?
Jeff. That's Jeff. That's my pal, Jeff. Sometimes it's a little bit more about just the music. Jeff and I go back a long time, and I've played music with him and rambled around the different horse fairs and stuff like, and fascination with horse fairs and game fairs and things like that. Going fishing and walking the fields and climbing mountains and all. I don't do it as much anymore since I became a musician, but Jeff was always with me, like, we were going around. There would be a gang of us, but myself and Jeff would come out together. He plays the mandolin and the banjo. This particular song was a song that I kind of just felt a good connection with, maybe, you know what I mean? So I asked him, would he play the mandolin on it for me? He took a bit of time off work and came in and put down a few takes for us. We recorded this one on that place in the canal, didn't we?
That's right, yeah.
So he came down one day. I remember it being a terrible place to find parking. I just came in and he had a lovely Joe Foley mandolin that he had made especially for himself. Had about 4 or 5 of them, but this is one that he still has, and just came in and put the mandolin. They were so happy to come in and do it for us as well, which was great,
Yeah, he did it very nicely.
And then that's Garvey again on the button accordion. Sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say that Jeff Kinsella, he's not that experienced, I suppose, in studios, but he really he got a lovely touch, and he kind of delivered very nicely.
And there was I, oh, my head wide open, Rosie Riley, where are you now? Oh, Rosie, Rosie Riley, oh, Rosie Riley, oh, I held Rosie in me arms at the fair of Ballinasloe.
It's a lovely combination of sounds in it, that instrument and voice.
Yeah.
My lungs are
it's true, yeah.
I wish I was in my lungs' care to piebald horses in me pocket, rolling round and round the fair.
Lovely.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song.
Yes. I love that line, 2 piebald horses in me pocket rolling around fair, It's like,
it's brilliant, isn't
he
it?
just sold 2 horses and he was already pissed drunk. In the morning,
But it's so nicely put, yeah. Magic.
Brilliant.
That's magic, yeah.
Alan Bell, Andy, funny story about this.
In days gone by when the world was much younger, we'd harness the wind to work for mankind. Seamen built tall ships that sailed on the ocean, while landsmen built mills the corn for to grind. And around and around and around went the big sails, turning the shafts and the grey wooden wheel. Creaking and groaning, the millstone keeps turning, grinding to flour the good corn from the fields. In Flanders and in Spain and in the lowlands of Holland, in the kingdoms of England and Scotland and Wales. Oh, windmills row up all along these great coastlines, ships on the land with their high canvas sails, and around and around and around went the big sail, turning the shafts and the grey wooden wheel, creaking and groaning, the millstone keeps turning.
That's great, whatever that is, bouzouki or guitar coming in. It's nice and big and
Good, it's actually a baritone bouzouki.
Is it?
Lands we worked hard on the good earth. So
It's great. It's like thunderous, isn't it? It's really nice.
Yeah.
seasons declared, waiting to reap all the rich golden harvest, while the miller lay idle, his mill to repair. And around and around and around went the big sail, turning the shaft and the grey wooden wheel,
Is there a drum on there as well, or is it just the
creaking
baritone
and
bouzouki?
groaning,
Yeah, I think Robbie is chipping away
Yeah.
there as well. Yeah,
grinding to flour the good corn
Yeah.
from the fields. Windmills of old wood, all
lovely, the
designed by
way the fiddle
weather, and
moves it on there,
windmills
the
of
timing of the
stone
the playing is really
white
great.
in the sun, and windmills like giants all ready for tilting, and windmills that died in the gale of a storm, and around and around and around went the big sails, turning the shafts and the grey wooden wheel, creaking and groaning, the millstone keeps turning, grinding to flour the good corn from the fields, grinding to flour the good corn from the fields.
Yeah.
grand.
That's Pat Daly on the fiddle. He was a lecturer of mine when I was in college actually as well, and he came along. He played fiddle and stuff on like Van Diemen's Land on the last album as well, you know. So he's great, isn't he? Like, and then he put so much work in. He really did, like, you know. And he'd done it so quick, like, you know what I mean? Because I kind of sprung it on him, and I just asked him, could he do it? And he said, yeah, I'll come in. And he just, like, came in a couple of days later and just put it down, you know. So, but it's one of my favourite tracks, I suppose. I got that song from, I've got a good story, right? I got that song from Pat Good. But I remember Pat telling me that the song was written by a man called Alan Bell, you know, so who ran Filed Folk Festival and stuff like that, you know. So
Same name as my
yeah,
dad.
yeah. So I remember being in. I remember we were busy. I was busy one year. I remember learning the song. And I remember being busy going out to. This was before I recorded the album. Going from one place to the next. I met you somewhere along the way, and then I remember getting to Portugal to do the Portugal Costa del Folk, and I remember one night really late. I was singing the song. I had just had Mike Harding up with me to do Legs of Pontchartrain, and after that, anyway, I was doing this song, and I said, this song was written by Andy Bell. And there was a guy in the audience, and he said, "Alan," and I said, "How dare you?" I said, "I'm fucking gas, like, you know." So I still having a gin and tonic, like, you know, more than one, like, you know. My mum was there as well. I said, anyway, this song was written by a fella called Andy Bell. And he said it again. He said, Alan. I said, all right. Oh, yeah, sorry. I said, yeah, Alan Bell. I said, sorry about that. And it was him. He was in the bloody audience. I really did. But I had to go really early the next morning, so I never got to meet him. But
you had to run away.
yeah. And I had to go really, like, you know. So exactly, thank God. But I got into emails with him, and he said he'd be absolutely delighted if we recorded the song, and he thought that the song was lovely. And it was great. It was great to get to record the song, but he's died since, sadly. But he was a lovely man. He really was. His emails were great. He sent me all his whole discography, like, you know, and all the songs, and told me that if I ever wanted to record any songs that he had written, that he'd be delighted, you know. So isn't that lovely? Like, you know, it's really lovely end to the story, I suppose. So yeah, that's that track now. But I remember we recorded a good bit of that in the Irish Traditional Music Archives as well. Yeah, as far as I know, so it was very handy.
But the next, which is the last track on the album, that was a bit of a journey as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Given that there was a certain amount of negotiation with Liam Weldon's widow, with Nellie, who, you know, would have been very protective of the song, etc., in Liam's memory, you know. But it's a bit of a masterpiece, and it was great that, like, you got her blessing in the end.
Yeah,
really I think she loved it when they heard it afterwards. Yeah,
that would be a big thing to me, is to have somebody's blessing to sing a song. You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't have touched it otherwise. So it was very important for me to get that from Nelly, which Liam for me was the person he's probably one of my favourite singers. He's definitely, for me anyway, he's definitely up there with Luke Kelly, like, as one of the finest singers.
I don't know, are you familiar with him at all, Andy? Liam Weldon?
No.
He's worth checking out.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, he made, I don't know how many albums he made, but this one was called the Dark Horse on the Wind. Yeah. And most of the songs are his, aren't they? Or Liam's?
Yeah. So he's 5 pen songs on this album, and this song. You see, I done my thesis when I was in college and stuff, and I was just fascinated by his singing, like, just of his rare versions of old traditional songs and stuff like that. But he penned this song himself, and it's probably one of the most beautiful love songs ever written. Do you know what I mean? Depends on, obviously, who you are, like, or what kind of, you know, this everyone's opinion. But in my opinion, it's one of the most beautiful. And he just, so he recorded it actually with Dónal back in, what year was it? It was 1970 something, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah, late 70s. Yeah, that's right.
So, and so it was just great to record it. So I recorded 2 songs before this. So I recorded the Blue Tar Road and My Love Is a Well, which is the other love song that Liam wrote. He wrote it for Nelly, his wife, like, you know. So it was especially good, like Donald said, to get the blessing to record the song. So.
Oh, if you were the restless sea, and I the steadfast stones, oh, you the waving kelp above, I the bleaching bones, your little waves to lap my feet, advance and kiss in croach retreat, surround, submerge, at last complete. Oh, you and I true. And were you then a yellow bloom dancing in the grass, and I a hunting honeybee, pausing ere I pass, and as I sip on your nectar sweet, your pollen grains surround my feet. In that ecstatic moment meet, oh, you and I truly one. And were I then a single seed of all the millions in the field, and you a gentle raindrop from the sky, and you'd fall upon my breast to awaken me from my long rest. In the moment by the old gardens blessed, oh, you and I truly one. And were you then the last wild leaf upon the autumn brow, and I the wind, the wanton thief, to blow as I blow now. And when you fall as fall you must, oh, I to be the waiting dust, beyond sorrow, grief, or lust, to lie here forever, truly one.
Epic. Yeah, I think it's, you probably need to be in a certain mood to listen to it. It's very reflective and, you know,
Yeah,
has its own time. But,
I love singing it. Like I you know, I just love it. It's one of them songs that you might not sing it for a couple of months, but just I would very rarely like forget the words of it. Let's say if it went a bit rusty or whatever, it's in there. You know what I mean? And it was written from the heart, and it's just everything. I've got a massive connection with that one in particular because like I've done so much research on Liam and his singing and how he approached collecting songs and everything like that, and writing them and stuff. You know, so yeah, great. It was a great album. It was a fantastic experience for me anyway. You know, so
brilliant album. Thanks for sharing it with us and some of your stories, and
nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Deadly. More of that, Gary.
Yeah, let's do it again. Definitely.